table, pour a dram or flight. Whiskey round table. Oh, Greg, Karen, and the whiskey wizard talking facts and tastings. They've got you covered. Whiskey round table. Oh.
Welcome to the Whiskey Roundtable. We are your hosts,
Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar.
What's up, kids?
What's
Hey.
up, kids? It's our last and final week
Last and final
week.
episode
of this year's, at
Scottish
least.
Whiskey Month. And it's our 24th show.
Oh, I can't
20.
believe you didn't even give me a chance.
Oh, you were ready to guess.
I was.
You were
I
ready
started to go, and you went 24.
Well, I kind of
Sure.
knew as the words were coming out of my mouth, I was looking at you, and I
That's
knew
all right.
you were about to guess. But
I would have been wrong
Sorry.
anyway.
You probably would have been. So, yeah.
Greg be
here
like
we are
13.
I like to at least embarrass myself for a quick minute.
At the end of August, and it's our 24th actual show of the year.
Same as my
And-
age.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Times
good.
6.
So, it was a great show last week. Thanks
Yeah,
again,
fun.
Albert, for being our guest.
Yeah.
What a great whiskey that was, a Lefroy 10 cask strength.
Yep.
Again, I scored it very high.
Good stuff.
Like we all did. I think it was one of the highest average scores. I haven't done all the math and all the comparisons, but it was a pretty great showing for the Lefroy 10 cask strength.
Yep. And to recap those scores, you gave it a 4.7
Right.
last week. Greg, you gave it a 4.6, and I gave it a 4.1. So Albert gave it a 4.0, Shauna gave it a 3.7, and Elliot gave it a 3.5. All very, very good scores.
Yes. So, I mean, yeah, just a fantastic. I'm hoping I can acquire some in the near future, and because just what a fantastic whiskey that was.
Yeah. I want to thank Jennifer Boggs for finding us a bottle of toasted Basil Hayden.
Yay!
Yay! Good job, Jennifer.
She was definitely on the hunt because
She was on
she was traveling all over
Like,
last
like
week.
a bum
she
on a
said.
bologna sandwich she
That's
was.
right.
She wasn't playing.
That's right. We got Kayla out there watching.
Oh, they're up. The girls are all up in
That's what I'm
Boston
talking about.
visiting my brother and his family. So
Love Boston.
Shauna and the girls.
Mm-hmm.
And Lauren
Lauren is out there.
is out in LA watching
all right.
front row seat,
Great.
which she's going to have a really nice.
She has a prominent role in this show.
She does.
Tonight. So yeah. So quick, let's do our sponsors: Cleveland Bourbon Co-op, Royal Havana Cigars, Village Martini, Simply Greek, Low Imports, Roland Smoked Barbecue, Chagrin Valley Beverage, 21 Stays, North Coast Jazz Ensemble, and last but not least, Rawhide Firearms.
Amen.
Whoop whoop.
So yeah.
So,
Well, we probably talked about this last week, but we just patronized Rawhide Firearms.
yes, we did.
good deal.
Yes, we did. But what did we buy? A hat there or
Mark's
something?
You bought a
Great
hat and
guy.
a pair of gloves.
Pair of
Yeah.
gloves
Great.
Uh-huh.
and some boots. But anyway.
Some boots. So, Wizard, what are you up to?
Oh, my ideal weight if I was 6'2".
I know the feeling. I know.
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Ooh, boy.
Tonight we've got we got a Glenmorangie Quinta Ruban.
14-year?
Yeah, so it's a good one.
Sounds
to-
very exotic.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna learn.
What's
Karen's gonna tell us about it, and then we have a special whiskey wizard tonight.
That's
that,
right.
Fits in with the whole theme of Glenmorangie and Ardbeg and.
Awesome,
We'll just
awesome.
see.
It was so funny. So before the show, Greg's over in the vault over here, and they had put together, because you're getting ready to go on your trip.
On my trip, yes, next week.
And you do your, I'm sorry, is it the hammer
The
hang?
hammer hang.
Yes.
Which is basically an infinity bottle, but it's all scotch.
Yeah. It's the
One type
infinity
of
bottle
scotch.
that-
One type of scotch.
Well, all single malts.
All
We're all
single
single
malt,
O-
correct.
Only single malts, and
Let me rephrase
a
it.
guy gets assigned. We pass it off year to year. It's somebody's turn each year, and then throughout the year, all the good whiskey they have, they pour some in there until.
And why is yours the best?
Huh?
Why is yours the best?
Well, I was the first one.
No,
I
no, no.
started the tradition.
It's because we only drink good scotch around here.
It's nothing
Oh
but the
yeah,
best.
well, see,
Real
I don't, it's not my
tomato
year to bring one, so I honestly don't remember who is bringing the Hammerhang this year, the official high-low Hammerhang. But Greg has helped me prepare a bottle for the gang, a second one. So this year we'll have a second Hammerhang,
Awesome.
an unofficial Hammerhang, if you will. But I can guarantee it has a lot of good whiskeys in it.
So what's funny is before the show, they were going through, okay, we added this, we added that. So Greg was over there, you know,
Hunting through.
hunting through and calling off different scotches that he had added. And Greg was saying it in Greggies. And then Doug was repeating it in the actual Scottish.
The proper pronunciation.
So
yes.
it was so funny. I can't even explain it. Like he said Glenmorangie or something. Like, and then you said,
Glenmore, please.
Glenmorangie.
see,
That's
it,
what I said. Glenmore, please.
That's right.
you had to be there. Anyway,
Yeah.
it was funny. I was
I'm
just
no
sitting over
Scotch
here
guy.
enjoying.
But yeah, Greg. I had Greg going through and recalling everything. So all this month, every time the show ended, and for Scotch Whiskey Month, Greg would contribute some to a Infinity single malt bottle that I was preparing, and then I had the assignment to finish it off at home with selections I had there for it. So yeah, it's going to be a fun little extra to add to our fun this year.
So
Pretty
do you
awesome.
have it? You don't have it in that silver
It's
container.
it's in my
Water bottle?
no. Well, although the official one is a lot like a water bottle. It's
I
a
gotcha.
stainless steel. No, the not hard bag, but I can't.
That's
Oh.
right, because you
It's
had it
in a
here.
bottle, but I'm going
I-
to transfer it.
I thought I
into,
Put
I
it in
have
a
nice
Balvenie
carafe.
bottle. Didn't we put it in a Balvenie bottle?
Yes.
Well, it's a Balvenie outer carton, but it's
Oh.
Aberlour.
Yes,
Aberlour
that's
bottle.
right.
Gotcha,
You're
gotcha,
right.
But
You're
gotcha.
I'm
right.
gonna. I think I was cleaning out and I found a very nice decanter that looks very classy. I might put it in that. We'll have to see.
Awesome.
Very
But okay.
special.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
What are you smoking?
I'm smoking my Royal Havana cigar, 660, a Maduro cigar,
Made just for you,
made
right?
just for the radio
from
show.
Royal Havana, one of our sponsors.
Yeah.
All right.
So these cigars were made for me. So it's awesome.
Nice.
Sweet.
Plus, I have a bobblehead, so you know I'm a celebrity now.
That's Terry Bradshaw, actually. That's what I like.
My own cigar. All we need is, you guys need to. We need to come up with some Glencairn glasses with our names on them, kids. You guys are killing
Yes,
it.
we do. Yes, we do.
Well, we've got some cool.
Message received.
There you
We've
go.
got some cool things. We've got like the
Right.
mouse pad, and we've got some coasters,
Yeah.
and
Got some official Whiskey Roundtable coasters. We do need to get that. I've actually mentioned that I've been looking for Glencairn glasses that we could maybe personalize, and it's very hard because I guess because of the shape of a Glencairn, it's not really easy to put stuff on the side, and a lot of stuff gets engraved on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So, but our nice, we can get like rocks glasses with our logo and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's harder to get a Glencairn. I'm still working on it. Though. I really want to get that.
even something like this, like these tasting glasses that we
Right.
got at the whiskey.
I like
These are
those.
nice.
Yeah, those are nice glasses.
We we use these for the pre-show,
Right.
our pre-show
It was
warm
the
up. But yeah, those are
Cleveland Whiskey and Bacon thing a few
Right.
years ago.
Yeah,
We
right.
went with Billy.
Billy, my happy pants Billy.
Happy pants. I miss Billy. We should give him a ring. See what he's up to.
Unfortunately, his birthday's the same day as mine.
That explains a lot. That explains
Poor
a
Billy.
lot.
He's a good guy. Billy's a great guy.
so.
Do anything for anybody.
This week we're into the Quinta Ruban.
Should we do a bottle cam?
What?
Yeah, before we get started, let's take a ride on the bottle cam.
Yeah, button
shall
up,
we?
kids. Put your seatbelt on.
Button up and put your seatbelt on.
It's gonna be a cold ride.
Here we
Hey
go.
everyone, it's time for the bottle cam. The bottle cam.
Look at that bottom there. Oh, that's so funny. That's
That
so
is
funny.
funny.
You get to see some of our stuff and
Yeah.
all the crap we have around down here.
Probably getting to visualize the room pretty good by now,
I would
Yeah.
say.
even if they've not ever been here. So, Quinta Ruban.
Oh,
Oh, clothes are done.
clothes are
Clothes are
done.
done. Okay.
Hope my drawers were in
I
there.
thought somebody was up there.
I need them. My head gets cold at night.
That's right. You can only turn them inside out so many times, and it's time to wash them. You know?
I look like I have a helmet with a brown streak down the front of it.
Balls to the left and me.
Sometimes I put them on the dog.
That reminds me of some good college stories, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, best that we don't, I'm sure.
Yes.
All right. Well, do you want me to go into
Yeah,
a little
let's
bit
do it.
Yeah, let's
of
talk a little about the Quinta Ruban.
Quinta Ruban? So very quickly, because Lauren is going to get into Glenmorangie and Dr. Bill. Okay, I'm ruining it.
Surprise.
It's a
guest
surprise.
host on the whiskey round, or the whiskey wizard.
Whiskey Wizard, yes. Giving it away. I'm so excited. I can't help myself. But the Glenmorangie Distillery, it was founded in 1843 by a farmer, William and Anne Matheson. And two of the most prominent things that make Glenmorangie what it is. One is the Tarlogie Spring. It's their water source. And it's a product of the rain that's been forcing its way through the layers of limestone and sandstone for 100 years.
So limestone, what does that ring a bell with?
As far as what, like Kentucky and that? said
There you go.
I
Kentucky.
wasn't sure
whiskey.
because we're talking Scotch, so I was thinking
No, but again,
Scotland and but,
limestone is the perfect medium to create great water.
so that's why I said what I said because I wasn't sure if he was talking about Scotland or the States. So
So yeah, the natural minerals give it a hard water quality, which we know all about that in this house, hard water.
best water ever.
And it provides Glenmorangie with a raw ingredient, which is unique among the Highland distilleries. The second most important factor are the copper stills. They're actually the tallest in Scotland, and their necks are as tall as a giraffe.
Wow.
And it's said that the taller stills create more space for taste and aroma. So, go
Right.
ahead.
So
Makes sense.
Yeah. So the taller the higher that neck goes up, the more effort it takes to get that spirit out and into this to the thumper. So you get a lighter whiskey. Basically, it keeps recycles a lot more until that finer spirit actually makes it out.
Sweet.
So the taller and there's some actually that's a great thing I like about what they do. Their spirit is very light and overall delicate, but again, there's other distilleries that I like just as well where they do the opposite. So
Cool.
Yeah. So while you were talking and explaining the
are cool.
stills, I showed a picture of those, and it shows you just the cool, unique shape of those as you were explaining.
They almost look like candlestick holders.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't it? That's really
And here's a picture that kind of puts it in perspective. So you'll see a couple of people standing next to the stills. So
It looks so small.
I
So
know.
I noticed that Glenmorangie uses a giraffe kind of in a lot of their
They do.
ad stuff. So I didn't make that connection until you just said that. So,
They do. It's actually, they call it their spirit animal.
yeah.
So they very attached to the giraffes because they kind of liken themselves to it because of the stills. They are bringing an awareness to the fact that the numbers of giraffes are fallen over the years. It's fallen actually 30% in 30 years, and some types of giraffes are now considered critically endangered. So Glenmorangie started a conservation partnership with the Giraffe Conservation Foundation,
Nice.
and they are securing a future for all wild giraffe populations in Africa. And you can visit giraffeconservation.org to find out more information.
Yeah, a lot of these, these big animals need a lot of space, and unfortunately, that's the thing that keeps getting encroached upon. So that's good news. I'm glad about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just get to our drink, our Glenmorangie Quinta Ruban. So Quinta Ruban, it's like very exotic. It sounds very exotic. So I looked
Sounds
up.
giraffe.
Quinta means it's a large house in the country or on the outskirts of town. Ruban, what we have found is that it's an older Gaelic word and it's derived from Hebrew.
That's kind of the thought it probably was. Just like every language, even Gaelic isn't immune to borrowing from other older languages and references. So
Exactly.
that's something we've read in some of the different stuff. So not sure if that's 100% true, but I'm pretty sure it is Gaelic. So.
And so what we found too is trying to translate Ruban. It brings up either ribbon or ruby. So that would explain because this is a port sherry
finish.
Cask, yeah.
So 10 years in American oak, right? American white oak cask. So it
Sure.
doesn't, in what I read, it says white oak cask. I'm assuming those are first fill ex bourbon.
Yes.
But yeah, and then transfer to a port pipe. So if you don't know that, a port pipe is a very large, about 130 U.S. gallons. So it's a much larger cask. So sherry is pretty sweet and powerful, and so you don't want too small of a cask.
Right.
Or else
wanna
you impart
spread it
too
out.
much of that. Yeah.
So like you said, it's a 14-year-old port cask finish. It is matured in American white oak, which are the ex-bourbon barrels. And then it's extra matured in ruby port pipes from the Quintas or wine estates of Portugal.
Right.
All right.
Let's see, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what I found is that you can get it online for anywhere between $70 and $75. Problem is they only deliver it to a few states, and Ohio is not one of them. The closest is Kentucky or New York. Also, you can get it in California, Lauren, Arizona, New Jersey, Nevada, and Washington State.
Now, I don't remember where I got this, but maybe it was on a trip down to Nashville, but I could swear I bought that at my local place here in Ohio. So.
Could be. They don't
Yeah.
deliver to.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe it's for sale here. I haven't really looked anywhere that I remember.
I don't remember seeing it either. Not 14. Not this in particular bottle.
So most recently at 2020 awards, they won 3 gold medals. One at the New York International Spirits Competition, also at the International Whiskey Competition and the International Spirits Challenge. Also in 2020, they won 2 silvers. They won a silver at the San Francisco World Spirit Competition and at the International Wine and Spirits Competition. So pretty heavy hitter out here, where it looks
Yeah.
like it's a favorite.
As a lot of the Glenmorangie experiments end up doing pretty well. They're pretty well liked by aficionados out there. So
Oh, jeez.
What do you got?
Everyone's kind of lit it up on the chat here.
What's up, Steve?
Yeah, Steve Williams is there. Hey, Steve. Texas Steve.
216.
Yeah, so Lindsay is also watching, and they are in Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Jennifer
Very cool.
Boggs. Jennifer Boggs.
Jennifer says, hey.
Hey.
And she says, the taller the still, the more surface area of copper to react to volatile compounds. It pulls out the vapors in the distillation process.
That's right.
I know, she's so smart. She is.
But it's also, it's not, because you could have a lot of surface area, though, and not have it so tall. But the tall is what makes it harder. You get more recycling of the spirit before it makes it out. So you get a lighter spirit by making that neck tall. But the surface area is also important because that copper has a reaction and it helps purify the whiskey.
Doug, I'm being told that you need to turn up your mic.
We just
I
did a
don't
mic
know.
test.
We did our test, so I don't know.
I mean, you're
Why,
talking. You talk louder than I do.
I know. I
Just
don't know. I can turn
we'll
it
keep
up.
an eye on it.
Tell Steve maybe turn his chair around and hear out of his good ear.
Well, I think the problem is that you and I are so loud.
Yeah, that's
When
true.
Doug
I don't know.
talks.
So there we that's
Wah,
turn it up a
wah,
little
wah.
bit. But,
Okay.
so we do a sound check, believe it or not, before
We-
every show. So
we
try
do.
to make sure we're good. Anyway.
Ron Fackaday
Ronnie.
is out there. He's like,
Ronnie at?
Cripe, did I miss the bottle cam?
You did. Oh,
Wow, but
that's-
don't dismay. I think there may be another
I
opportunity
think so.
To take a
before we
ride?
get into the
nosing.
ratings section
Oh, we want to do one for the
for the
before.
tasting.
That's before the nose. You want to do one before the nose?
Before we taste, do you want to do
Yeah,
one?
it's up to you.
Well, are we at that point or
No.
Karen?
We are at that point.
Okay.
Give Ronnie what he wants to have.
All right. Well, let's all take another ride on the bottle cam.
Whoop, whoop.
Hey everyone, it's time for the bottle cam. The bottle cam.
Here we go.
Very nice.
Right.
All right, Ron, that was just for you.
I hope you guys had your seatbelts on.
I hope Ronnie will be able to sleep tonight now.
All right. Okay, so we're kind of getting
We get into it.
to that. Let's do it. Let's.
All right.
I'm getting excited. This is when I get excited.
Oh, I'm
pass
sorry.
it?
Yep. Oh, and look right away. Yes, you can see the darker color
Oh
of
my
this.
gosh, look at that.
What
Beautiful. That's a beautiful looking.
what were we drinking as a pregame on
The
this evening?
the Toma,
Yeah, show them.
The tone,
17,
just the
12, yeah.
difference in color. It's very noticeable.
yeah.
It's a
So
heavy
yeah, this
sharp.
is not. I don't think that's finished in anything. Just American first.
Ooh.
So look at that. That is beautiful. You
Mm.
can definitely see that cinnamon. It's got a very cinnamon clovey look to it. Almost looks like an American rye to me.
I get chocolate. First hint is chocolate right off the top.
Yeah, I
So
could say
this
both
is
of them.
what like a 46 maybe.
You know what? I didn't even pull that off.
I'm sorry, I thought you guys knew that.
No, that's
92.
okay.
I apologize. It is, looks like it's 96 proof to me.
Okay.
Look at it, right where your finger is.
46. So yeah,
90
what 92?
92 proof.
Yeah, what I see.
96. But that's alright. No worries.
I don't know. I'm quickly doing math in my head, which is never a good thing.
No worries,
Oh.
kids.
It's got a very, very pleasant nose.
Yeah, it does have.
Kind of dessert-ish to me.
Yeah, I get the like
Citrus.
this, whereas I get some like plum, apricot, peach kind of stuff.
Yeah, apricot, I would say.
Yeah.
Almost an orange, maybe. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Lemon, maybe. But there's something else there besides
There's
that.
a little bit of like butteriness, almost buttered toffee or something.
Yeah.
or
Yeah, that could be.
touch of cinnamon and clove. So there's a little bit of.
Not very strong on the oak,
No.
which I think is worth noting because sometimes that oak is always so prominent that you don't even mention it.
Yeah.
But I think some of the other scents kind of overpower that oak, which is refreshing.
And I think basically what happens here is they take their 10-year, what would normally be their 10-year, and then it goes into this extra finishing step. And the 10-year Glenmorangie is one of my favorites. Just
Yeah,
an everyday go-to. I love it.
Yeah, I could in my nose I get a big push of orange fruit or apricot orange fruit, if you will, an orange fruit of some
I'm not
sort.
getting anything citrus on this one. but
Not really
definitely
citrus, but I'm getting some kind of
Yeah.
orange fruit,
Little
so to say.
orange
Does
zest
that make
or
sense to you?
It does.
Not even an orange zest, but like a peach, a mango.
Yeah,
You know.
orange fruit. Yeah,
Right.
Plum, apricot, peach. Yeah, definitely something.
Are you guys getting the chocolate at all?
I did off the
I don't
first, but I don't
any
get it
chocolate
now.
on the
I agree.
nose.
I don't get it
Yeah.
anymore.
I got it off the first,
I don't
and
get
not
it
so
now.
much off.
There is kind of a sweet, buttery toffee in there.
That's what I'm thinking,
Very
like the dessert
Yeah.
flavor to it, or
Which makes sense.
flavor
Yeah.
scent.
All right, what do you got for the nose? What do you got for the nose, kids?
On the nose, and now that I'm reading this, I would agree. Dark mint chocolate.
I didn't get
Okay.
any mint.
I definitely get the mint. Seville oranges.
Greggy.
Okay, I was not picking orange. I was saying some kind of orange fruit, but there you go. Okay,
I don't know what a
but
Seville
I don't get
orange is.
citrus out
So
of it. So.
Spanish orange.
Okay.
Okay.
It says the dark mint chocolate and the Seville oranges mingle with the sandalwood and walnut.
Yeah.
No walnut skins. but
Oh,
walnut.
sorry, Jennifer.
A spicy finish of pepper and nutmeg.
I didn't get any.
That's the nose. I didn't
get any
get-
pepper.
I got some cinnamon and some baking spice.
Yeah,
but,
it was very pleasant on the nose. I
it's
didn't get
really
any
nice. It's
ethanol
really nice.
or anything like
This
that.
is
out of it.
another one of those whiskeys where I could just nose it. I mean, it's so good.
I am getting the
pleasant.
mint.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
I get the mint.
you said
Dark mint chocolate.
Seville oranges.
Seville
so
oranges.
So what's a s-
So if
Spanish
you were
orange.
gonna go to, if you went to Spain and you drank some sangria,
Okay.
that's probably the oranges that would be floating.
Okay.
In the
Gotcha.
Sangrias.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Who knew?
All right, should we go in on
Yeah,
it?
Let's go in.
I can't wait. And Lauren, I know at home you have a bottle of this, so you could be enjoying this along with us.
Ooh, oranges on the tongue.
I get mentholeptus.
Eucalyptus? Or?
Yeah.
Men-
Eucalyptus. Is that right?
Yeah.
I get that out of it.
Ooh.
I get a
It's
little.
definitely-
I get a little more. I definitely get the caramel. I almost get some like coffee, and I'm getting like
I get
I don't
Let
get
me
as
hit it
much
again.
fruit on the palate. I'm getting more like marshmallow and cocoa.
Lauren says she gets a little tingle of spiciness on the finish.
I do get that.
And a lot of chocolate, she said.
There you go. Yeah, I'm definitely getting chocolate, and I do get oak late late on the palate. So yeah, but that's funny. I don't get those
I get any-
apricot and all those fruitiness that I got on the nose.
I got honey, but I would say if I had chocolate, if it was chocolate, because I'm a big fan of chocolate.
Right?
If I was any chocolate, my favorite is dark chocolate, and that's what I get is dark chocolate on the finish. But it's
Yeah.
not. It doesn't stay long.
I get a cocoa on the palate. My finish is kind of spicy and
Yeah, it's kind of short.
oaky and
It's a short finish, man.
Mine is minty, almost,
Well, maybe that's that.
after
what
you
I
brush
was-
your teeth, and it.
Yeah, I mean that. I said. Would you say? I said.
Yeah, it's
Because
that
I don't
must be
pronounce
something
words very
on
well.
my I don't get
Eucalyptus.
any kind of mint. And you keep saying like eucalyptus and
So maybe that's the
menthol
mint
and-
I'm kind of getting, maybe, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't get any kind of menthol-y mint with this. I'm just
I
getting
don't-
marshmallow, cocoa, little coffee, maybe something like that. But and then on the end I get some maybe a little baking spice, but mostly oak on my finish.
Not a big Scotch taste to it. I mean, it's there, but it's faint and it's on the finish to me. You don't get it. I don't get it right away.
I get that orange fruit, prominent orange fruit.
You know what this reminds me of? That you love those little chocolate oranges.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The dark chocolate
So
orange.
you know
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I did
That's very good.
when I did the taste pairing episode, that orange chocolate went really good with the Glenmorangie 10.
Okay.
I bet it would even go
Orange
better with
orange
this.
chocolate is my favorite
Is it?
friggin' chocolate, man.
Yeah.
Karen used to buy the. They used to come almost like the size of a
Like
softball.
Yeah, yeah. Hardball.
And-
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you smack it and it opens up, the slices, if
Yeah.
you will. Oh my God, I haven't had one of those in a long time.
I know. I haven't seen those.
That kind of
actually.
reminds me of that.
I
I
think
do
this-
get a dark chocolate, and I do get an orange fruit of some sort.
I would agree.
But I won't say orange as actual orange. I'm just going to say, more of the apricot or something like that, mango.
It's a
if you will.
sweeter orange.
Right. So.
Yeah, so for me to sum it, I got a lot of the fruit on the nose, not so much on the palate. Palate was much more marshmallow, chocolate, which I like that in a whiskey when there's
good.
that difference between the nose and the palate.
So what's we're looking?
I'm looking. The taste
Good. What's the
referred to something, and I was looking it up what it was because I wasn't exactly sure. Taste: mint chocolate and walnuts envelop the palate, laying the foundation for rose. No rose there.
Didn't get any kind of floral stuff.
Me
I
neither.
wasn't getting that.
Turkish delight and sweet Seville oranges. So that's what I was looking up.
Okay.
What is a Turkish delight? It's
Some
basically
kind
a
of
little
candy.
square candy, a gel of starch and sugar. Premium varieties consist largely of chopped dates, pistachios, hazelnuts, or walnuts, bound by gel.
Right.
Traditional varieties are often flavored with rose water, bergamot orange, or lemon.
Okay.
So that's what Turkish delight is, kids.
That's what I'm talking about.
Very happy with this.
So I don't think I came anywhere close to what they're showing, but
I think you did.
Yeah,
I think they're.
you nailed some of it.
They had the milk chocolate and the Seville oranges.
Yeah,
So
getting
you were
the
calling
orange.
that
I
out.
didn't
I got some
that
kind of,
till-
maybe that was the mint that I was getting. Mint has that same type. You get that coolness of the mint. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. But I didn't taste any mint.
I feel like I just brushed my teeth after.
Awesome.
It's
About
very
time. It's been a
I
week.
know. It
Yeah,
is
I'm not
Friday.
kidding.
It's been a week.
I don't get the mint at all because
Did you shave your back?
it feels like to me.
It's the last time you changed your underwear,
opposite
huh?
of mint is like cocoa and marshmallow. A little coffee. That's kind of what I got.
I didn't get any coffee, and I'm a coffee
No.
drinker, man. Good going,
Well,
Doug.
that's why we do this because
All right.
everybody's a little bit different.
Okay.
So
Finish.
we get to
Real quick, you want me to give you
Yeah,
finish?
go ahead. Give me.
And this is directly from the Glenmorangie
Sure.
website too.
Okay.
The finish, long lasting. I would agree with that. Silky aftertaste, definitely silky. Leaving dark chocolate mints and traces of orange. So there you go. You hit that one too.
Okay.
just inhaling there that time. I got a little mint.
Okay.
There you go.
So
I'm gonna let it sit for a minute, and I'll get into it
But
again. during the
very
Whiskey
subtle,
Wizard.
like a fresh mint, just a little.
Want to
burn.
say, Rich, thanks for watching the show. I see you're back on. Good for
Rich,
you,
right?
my boy Rich.
Is he over there in Maine? Isn't he?
Next week, I believe.
No, they were there. I saw their
Oh, well, that's where then he's watching it from Maine.
postings.
You eating lobster yet? What are you doing, dog?
Yeah, come on, get on it, son.
Come on, son, quit playing.
Got to hit it. Got to hit it while you're out there. Let's see. Whoa, there's lots.
Take
of
that boot off and go
notes
soak
here.
it in the water.
Lauren says she's in love with this one. The Nectar d'Or.
Nectar
used to-
d'Or. That's the one we use on the cigar pairing. Yeah, that's another great one.
Yeah, she
I
said,
really enjoyed that.
she said that used to be one of her favorite of the 10 plus finish, but the 14-year-old Quinta is now her favorite.
Right. Well, then it's just a perfect show from that standpoint.
Cameron is agreeing. This is such a good bottle. Let's see. What do we got here?
Easy.
Did we say? Ron said you said mental lapses. We could have.
No. Pay attention.
What? Dance leader, you talked us into it. All right. Lindsay, it's a Sawtombs dessert wine cask.
Sauternes, yes.
Lauren
Dessert wine.
has a weakness for scotch that sits in dessert wine barrels. Well then, hey girl, this is all your...
Yes.
Lauren says she's not getting any coffee out of it either, but very chocolatey, some orange, and a little bit of pleasant spiciness.
All right.
Lauren, we're going to ask you to rate this one as well, since
Yeah.
you're drinking it at
She's
home.
a special part of this episode.
Tell us about this
So we'll let
Quinta Quinte that we're drinking.
For the love of God.
God. Oh my gosh.
Okay, with that, Doug.
Everybody needs to try this Quinta
What do you
Quinte.
expect? This is the Whiskey Roundtable.
For the
All right.
love of shit.
Okay.
So, Doug, you want to kick us off this week, since it is the last week of Scottish?
Last week of Scotch, dog. Let's do
Yeah,
this.
this is my favorite month of the year. So, I really like this. I'm putting it right there on I think it's something I want to have on my table. So I know it's the second week in a row, but I'm going with a 4.01 on this. So just
4.01?
yeah, it's just a little bit above my 4 must-haves.
Just by a hair.
Yeah, but
Really?
it's a must-have on my whiskey shelf now. I think this is just really,
It's almost like a dessert.
yeah, but it's not cloying at all.
No.
It's there's a lot going on in the nose. I like that the nose is so different compared to the palate, and then when you're nosing it and sipping it, all that's going on. So.
It's a relaxing atmosphere as far as I'm concerned.
I think this is a good testament to the man who we're going to be talking about in a little bit.
Amen. Awesome. All right.
Greg, what do you think?
Honestly,
No,
That's
lie
what
to
we're
us.
only honest here on the Whiskey Roundtable.
all right. In my personal opinion, it's good. I'm going to go a 3.8.
Good. That's a pretty good G. That's a pretty good G score. Because again,
It's
Scotch
I
isn't
could
your biggest, your wheelhouse. You're much more an American whiskey guy, but
but
I'll
it's
take a G 3.8 on this.
it's nice. It's nice. It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, I have not seen Lauren's score come through, so I'm going to go ahead and give it my vote. So before I give my numbers out, I'm going to say that I am a sucker for chocolate mint, and you know that too.
Yeah.
So this is right in my wheelhouse, and I'm going to go with a 4.4.
Oh!
Wow.
Holy cow!
Oh my gosh. Wow,
Yes.
Message received.
that's pretty amazing.
I really enjoy this. It's definitely a scotch you could sip on and
Well, I don't
enjoy.
know. So this lends credence to the fact that I think you're becoming a Scotch girl.
I am. I think I just have
'Cause I don't know,
to suck it up and
Have you
admit
ever
it.
given an American whiskey a 4.4
No.
on the show?
I don't think so.
Let's see because did we
I don't
do
know what your highest has been so far.
my favorite that I like, but things keep changing.
Well, that's okay. Each week's a different experience. We do our best and we rate things. So, do we have a Lauren score?
do we have a
yet?
Lauren score
Come
yet?
on, Lauren. What do you got,
Oh,
girl?
no, she's
Not
very-
yet. She must be
Come on.
nervous.
And I also want to know what Cameron. Not that I don't care about everybody's score, but Lauren and Cameron helped with this show this week, so I'd like to also get a score from Cameron as well. Hopefully, you guys can hear me.
Can you hear him? Can you hear him? You know what? I don't know that I've ever given a 4.4 to anything.
think
I'm
you
going
have.
back in the archives here, and ooh, I didn't like that 40 Creek. Ooh, yikes! I gave that a 2.3. Doug, you gave it a 2.4. So hey.
We're going to have a bottom shelf week just for fun
We
sometime
should.
before the end of the year.
Oh
That'd
my
be fun.
God.
That would be fun. Bottom shelf.
I gave the Bell Mead Madeira a 4.2, so that's interesting
Yeah,
because
okay.
Madeira is similar.
Again, you got there's a lot of that finishing, and yeah, we're going to learn more about Madeira tonight before it's all over.
Cam is at work, so he's not drinking it right
okay.
now.
Oh,
Come on,
okay.
Cam, you're at work.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Cameron, send me a follow-up.
Kim, you don't have Cameron
Send me a
doesn't have flask.
follow-up on that after you have a chance to sample a little bit later on, and we'll add that to the show notes. But we're still waiting on Lauren.
We do
I don't
have
know
it,
if
but
maybe
she
she's
can't
not-
make up her mind. She keeps
Oh, okay.
switching between
Well,
scores.
I can believe that. That I can believe.
So she's at first she said she's going to say a 4.25, but then she says I keep switching between 4.33 and 4.25. It's a good value, but not as good a value as the Glenmorangie 10.
So Lauren is as good as the Mort block that we had.
Come on, Lauren, meet in the middle.
I'm teasing her a little bit. Okay, so
Justin Elliott, hey.
Hey,
Hi from Judy and Justin in Katy, Texas.
well, that's what I'm talking about. Justin, my boy.
Good to have
guy.
you join us.
Thank you for
Well,
watching.
that, Katy, Texas. That that might be. Is that kind of the farthest away tonight? No. Of course
Steve,
not.
No,
Steve
that's
is
my
down
brother.
there.
My
right?
brother
Los
and
Angeles.
my,
Yeah.
my buddies
Oh,
down
okay.
there. They're
Yeah.
Donnelly, Justin. We're all down
Let's see. So, Lindsay, I'm sorry, I see Lindsay's name on here too. She's saying you do sound distant. She can hear you, but it's not as good a quality as Big G and myself.
I don't know.
there. I'm all about quality,
It's just,
kids.
maybe I gotta check all the connections.
Maybe if you
here.
raise it up.
Well, I did. But
No, not that. Your actual mic, like raise it up.
raise it up. No.
Yeah, see how mine is higher?
See how mine's
Oh
higher?
well, yeah, but it's still. I mean, it's. I can't really do that. We have
Testing.
different kind of mic stand, but.
Check 1 2 1 2.
All right, I don't know what the deal is. But
Anyway,
That's all right.
that's just because we're loud. I'm
No,
telling you,
it's-
it's our Italian
Final
ability
answer,
to,
Laura's final
I will
answer.
listen to the
Final.
show later and try to sort it out.
God, thank God, Christmas is coming, girlfriend.
Yeah, that's right. So
Yeah.
Lauren has come in. Her final answer is 4.25.
All right, okay, Lauren.
Good girl.
4.25.
That's, I mean, she had some dedication, really
Yes.
thinking about that, and making sure that she was
did it
giving
right.
it the right score.
Yeah.
So,
So
Persistence.
she's very thorough, and
yes,
that's
she
one of
is.
the things we like.
So, we're
4.25, 3.8, 4.4, 4.01. So again, this is going to rate pretty good high average as well. So we will want Cameron to weigh in, and we'll have to see how this one does. But it's going to be one of our better scores in a long time as well. So
yep.
hey, good way to finish up Scotch Whiskey Month.
So when do we do this again? Scotch whiskey?
Next August.
Oh, shit.
Doesn't mean that'll be our no. Well, we're going to do more Scottish whiskey. We
Oh,
try
okay.
to do like one a month
Right.
on average, but we do have September. We only have 2 shows.
Yeah.
And then October.
Then we get into.
Yeah.
Then we get into
then we have the wild turkey.
the Halloween month,
and
and we have the Wild Turkey month, and
So,
then we're
yeah.
off till
so
January.
Maybe
Yeah.
one between now and the end of
Right.
the year.
Well,
But,
we've got some good things coming up for
we have
Halloween.
Some great whiskey.
I'm
We still have some great
jacked
whiskeys
for that.
coming up that I'm
Awesome.
excited about. So.
We got Rich has sent me a picture. Him and Cheryl are eating lobster as we speak.
Yes! Have one for me, please.
Too bad
So
we couldn't post that picture.
Well,
on
of
the
course, my girls are all up there in in Boston on the Cape.
thing. Right.
Boston.
Boston.
On the Cape, so they should be enjoying some lobster, clams, and
bunch.
that kind of stuff.
There's public fish and all that down there by the water. They should go to one of those restaurants down there. And that's where me and Karen go all the time. Matter of fact,
there's some good
it's
seafood.
called Daily Catch. Is
Daily
the restaurant
Catch,
down
Daily
there?
Catch, yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's on one side of the building, and the other side of the building is public fish where you can actually buy stuff to take home. So that's usually when we go there, we usually buy a whole. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm trying to bring it up. Give me a second.
All right,
I
hang on.
can't. I'm not a miracle worker
Hang
here.
tight, Richie.
I'm trying to do my thing.
Come on.
What are we bringing up?
Rich took a picture of his lobster dinner,
Oh,
which, you know,
okay.
is just so not fair because. Hello? Okay, let's see. Where'd it go? It went up there. Let me go get the lobster.
Get the lobster.
I'm getting there. Come on, you guys, Phil.
Okay.
Talk
all right.
about something.
So, I like the more non-peaty scotches, and even that 10-year Lafroy was fantastic. I mean, at 120.2
It was
proof, really?
so good. I
It
couldn't
was good.
believe the proof of that. That was a beautiful whiskey. You know, I like peaty whiskeys, and I'm an Isla guy. If I could only choose one region, but I like them all. I mean, there's great whiskeys from all the Scottish whiskey regions,
Right.
but I love the variety. So that's what makes whiskey fun.
So I do have a question, and I apologize because I know you've done this on a Whiskey Wizard, but, you know, that was more than an hour ago. So the different regions of Scottish whiskey, you've got your Islas, which are those supposedly the more peaty ones?
Yes, the typical Isla character is oceanic, peaty, briny, salty, smoky.
Which would
So,
be the Lafroy 10.
Lagavulin, Lafroy,
That we had last
Ardbeg, yes.
And then this is a Highland.
Yes, this is a Heeland. Yes, a
Heeland.
Heeland. Oh.
Glenmorangie. So it's up there in Tain, which is up.
Taint?
Taint.
What do you
Not
say?
Tain.
Taint.
And it's north.
Ain't whiskey, ain't bourbon.
North of Inverness on I forget the body of water. Maybe Lauren can tell us, but yeah, it's right on. I can't remember it's on the ocean north of Inverness. So if you remember, Scotland kind of has that cut and then it goes north again. And
Yeah.
it's way up there
Okay.
on the kind of northern highlands, but it's on the water. Not exactly high elevation wise, but
And the other region, other than Isla and
So-
Heeland?
yeah.
Heeland.
Well, there's Speyside, which is technically part of the Highlands, but on the River Spey, that's where there's some 60 odd distilleries, so it has its own region. Right then you have the Lowlands, down south of kind of the line. If you go Edinburgh and south, that's the Lowlands, right? So Speyside, Lowlands, Isla, Highlands, Campbelltown.
Cameltoe.
Campbelltown is right south of Isla.
Where's the
on
Moose Knuckle at?
southwest. I don't know.
Where's Moose Knuckle Distillery?
That's right
what I-
behind the Cameltoe.
Okay.
I'm
Come
sorry.
on, Doug. It's
Now,
Friday. It's our
practice
last
the whiskey
show.
round.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, okay, so
So
that's
what is your favorite, though, of those regions?
Isla. If I could only
Isla.
have one, thankfully I don't have to choose, but if I could only have one, it would be Isla.
Okay.
I like
Nice.
the peaty, smoky whiskeys, but I certainly appreciate the delicacy and refinement of something like the whiskey we're trying tonight. So that's a good segue in tonight's Whiskey Wizard.
All right.
That's right. Oh, so we do have the picture up of the lobster.
Lobster.
Oh.
Look
Okay.
at
I wanna see
that. That looks amazing. Just get rid of the corn, get rid of the taters, and just have the lobster because, damn, that looks really good.
That looks fantastic. Oh my gosh.
We need to go for another lobster dinner. It's been
Absolutely.
a while since we've partook.
Partook it.
Partaken.
Pardonne?
Pardon,
Anyway,
all that stuff.
so, hit the Whiskey Wizard.
Yeah, so we have a great Whiskey Wizard tonight, and we'll see you back here in a little bit, folks. We're going to talk about somebody very special in the world of Scottish whiskey.
See you in 15.
Whiskey Wizard. It's the Whiskey Wizard.
Hello and welcome to the Whiskey Wizard, where we say that whiskey making takes scientific knowledge, an artisan's skill and dedication, and a bit of the wizard's alchemy of light, air, earth, and fire. Earlier this year, I was out on the West Coast, and one evening I was enjoying a dram with my son Cameron and his girlfriend Lauren Slater. when we started discussing some potential future Whiskey Wizard episodes. During this discussion, Lauren said that if it were possible, she'd love to have them contribute to an episode on Dr. Bill Lumsden, the mad scientist of single malt whiskey. I was intrigued and, of course, quite enthusiastic about the idea. So I'll simply say, take it away, Lauren and Cameron.
Hello, I'm Lauren Slater, and welcome to another guest episode of the Whiskey Wizard from Los Angeles, California. This year, the Whiskey Roundtable is featuring the wonderful port-finished Quinta Ruban from Glenmorangie, which gives me an excuse to talk about somebody who I'm a huge fan of, and that is Dr. Bill Lumsden of Glenmorangie and Ardbeg. Dr. Bill Lumsden is known as the Willy Wonka of whiskey and the mad scientist of Tane, and for good reason. He's responsible for some of the most important innovations in Scotch whiskey today, and some of my favorite aspects of the world of Scotch whiskey that have been true for the entire time I've been a drinking adult wouldn't be so commonplace if it hadn't been for this man's career. So we have him to thank for a lot of fantastic Scotch whiskeys out there. He's one of the most important innovators in the world of whiskey today, and I hope you'll be as excited to learn about him as I was. Dr. Bill Lumsden is the master of distilling, whiskey creation, and whiskey stocks for Glenmorangie and Ardbeg distilleries. He's one of the most decorated and highly awarded whiskey makers in the world at this point. And he has a PhD in biochemistry and has been working in whiskey ever since he graduated from college. He's an expert in the flavors that wood imparts into the spirit, as well as aging and maturation, and the minor fine details of chemistry and how they impart the flavors of the whiskey. So to understand the importance of Dr. Bill's career on the Scotch whiskey world, you'll need to understand a little bit of history. Sherry barrels and Scotch whiskey are absolutely nothing new. In fact, before American bourbon barrels started getting shipped to Scotland in the 1940s, almost all Scotch whiskey was aged entirely in sherry barrels for its entire life. But starting in the 1990s, when Dr. Bill Lumsden was working at Glenmorangie, he was working with a very, very delicately flavored whiskey in Glenmorangie 10, and wanted to impart some of the flavors associated with sherry and port to this whiskey, but he knew from his background in chemistry that aging it and maturing it entirely in a sherry barrel would overwhelm the flavor in the whiskey, and you'd completely lose the delicate floral character that Glenmorangie is known for. So what he did was take whiskey that had originally been aged in bourbon barrels and finish it for 18 months about in sherry casks or port casks or other wine casks. And he did a lot of experimentation with different barrels, figuring out what worked the best. And he was actually the first to do this on a large scale. Nowadays, when you think of Scotch whiskies that are finished in other barrels, it's so common that you don't even think of it as a special thing. But it really did start at Glenmorangie. And those firsts didn't stop coming. He was the first one to do a PX sherry finish in 2010. He's been playing around with different yeasts with an experimentation from the private edition, the Alta, in 2019. It used a wild yeast from the distillery grounds itself, from the Cadball estate around Glenmorangie, that was isolated in his own labs, and he distilled the whiskey using this special yeast that no one else is using. But he didn't stop there. Both Glenmorangie and Ardbeg release private editions every year, and almost all of these are an interesting experiment with the wood that the whiskey is aged in, or a fantastic choice of finish. The Ardbeg drum is finished in rum casks, and that being a peaty, heavy, strong whiskey, the sugar cane and caramel flavors that come from that rum are absolutely amazing. If you like Islay Scotch and you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. In more recent years, he's also done some other incredibly creative things with wood. In 2018, the Glenmorangie private edition was the Speos, which was matured entirely in ex-rye casks and brought a bright spiciness that we associate with rye to the forefront of an otherwise very aromatic and fragrant whiskey. There was also, the year before, the Bacalta, Gaelic for baked, was a Madeira cask finish. This was actually a bit of a continuation from a prior experiment. Dr. Bill had released some Madeira cask finished Glenmorangie in the past, almost a decade before, but it had to be discontinued because he couldn't secure a consistent source of Madeira cask barrels. The island of Madeira is very small, and Madeira wine, the industry is a bit mercurial, and though this sweet wine is highly prized around the world, it is made in very, very small batches. So for the Bacalta, he actually had a cooperage in Scotland make high grain density barrels specifically for this tropical region, and had them sent to Madeira, worked with a winery there to have the barrels for this soaking in the upper rafters of their aging house, where they would get warmer than usual and have even more of the wine soak into the wood than usual, so that when they were finally used to make the whiskey, even more of that sweetness and warmth would make its way into the final spirit. I have no idea what effect it had on the wine, but clearly the product, the whole thing was designed for the whiskey that would be made at the end. But he doesn't just experiment with wood finishes. The Glenmorangie Alta was a departure from tradition in an entirely different area with the yeast. For this one, Dr. Bill Lumsden took some barley that was growing on the Cadball estate and isolated several of the naturally growing wild yeast strains that were living on the barley itself, and isolated those strains and made a batch of whiskey with each one. He selected the best one and used that to create the Glenmorangie Alta. It's, other than the very surprising yeast, it's a very simple whiskey, very similar to the Glenmorangie 10. It has some more biscuity and bready flavors than the Glenmorangie 10 does. The Alta is also finished in ex-bourbon barrels, and it's otherwise a very simple spirit with no interesting finishes to let you taste as much as you can the flavors brought by the yeast, rather than focusing entirely on a wood finish. And I think it's really amazing because there's no other whiskey in the world that is like it. I love that desire to constantly find new things and new ways of finding a better flavor or a newer flavor or something that hasn't been done before. When Dr. Bill Lumsden started working at Glenmorangie, he had a list of different barrels and casks that he wanted to eventually try to finish Glenmorangie whiskey in. And he didn't expect to get everything on his list. In fact, he probably didn't expect to get much of anything from his list. But on that list were two of the most expensive wines in the entire world, including the Romani Conti, which is a chateau in Burgundy. And and he ended up getting them. Apparently, the owner of these two chateaus was a huge fan of Scotch whiskey and was very excited when he heard about this plan. The Glenmorangie Pride was released, I believe, in the late 90s. I haven't tried it, but it was a marriage of whiskey aged in these two very, very, very prestigious wine casks. And wine casks are typically used for generations. So this is something very, very special. Only 1,000 bottles were made. And I think it sold for $3,000 retail when it came out. But it's, again, one of the most creative whiskeys ever made at the time. And a huge risk, too. The reason why Dr. Bill Lumsden is probably my favorite person in the world of whiskey is that throughout his entire career, he has continued asking questions of, what if I tried this? What would it taste like if I tried this? What would it taste like if we tried this? And to see somebody coming from a position of his level of knowledge and experience, who never loses that curiosity, who never loses that desire to, oh, well, I learned this, so now I want to know what would happen if I do that. That kind of excitement is something you don't see very often. And when you see something like that applied to an art like whiskey making, you'll just get win after win after win. There might be some losses in there, but those don't get bottled and sold to everyone. Without that desire to know what would happen if I tried, you'll never make anything new. You'll only be able to make slightly better versions of what was made when you came to the distillery. And so many of Dr. Bill Lumsden's interesting experiments led to things that are now thought of as completely traditional and normal ways of making whiskey. This is an Amontillado finish. I forgot to talk about this one that's on my table. I love it. It's really good. So many of the innovations that started out as experiments in Dr. Bill Lumsden's lighthouse lab have now become accepted parts of the whiskey tradition in Scotland. Nowadays, it's really unsurprising to see a whiskey that's finished in a dessert wine cask, or finished in sherry, or matured in one thing and finished in another. And so many of those whiskeys are absolutely amazing. By the time I reached the age of drinking whiskey, that was already how the world of Scotch looked. But it wouldn't if it hadn't been for his career. And I am so impressed that rather than just resting on an achievement like that, he continues to ask, what could I possibly do to make a better whiskey? I hope you've enjoyed hearing about one of my favorite whiskey makers in the world. If you want to know more about Dr. Bill Lumsden, you can just go to either Glenmorangie or Ardbeg's website, or search his name on YouTube. His interviews are both highly informative and really hilarious. Also, you could just try one of his bottles and let them speak for themselves. There are excellent whiskeys out there from both distilleries, and I'm sure that you'll enjoy them. Thank you, Whiskey Wizard, and back to you.
Well, that was fantastic and fascinating, to say the least. I can only expect that Dr. Bill will have more up his sleeve as he continues to work his magic up there at Glenmorangie. Maybe we can do some distillery series in the future where we might talk a bit more about all the things they're doing there in Tain. This is Douglas Dunbar, the Whiskey Wizard, for the Whiskey Roundtable. Cheers, Slàinte. And since Dr. Bill is not the only one that can do some magic, I will say cheers, Slàinte again, and back to the live show.
Poof! We're back.
Yeah, hey. I just went from there to here. So
I know. Do you see
talk
how that
about magic.
works?
Yeah.
Wow. That was very interesting.
Yeah,
it
and
was.
I changed shirts too. If you notice how quickly I did that.
You're like a
so
regular old
great-
bewitch, man.
Yeah.
That's right.
Anyway, great job to our. This is for our guest, Whiskey Wizard.
Hey, Whiskey Wizard, I'm real proud of you.
All right, so yes,
Great job.
Excellent.
You could just
Excellent
tell
job.
in her excitement.
great job, Lauren.
She did a great job.
Her excitement, enthusiasm just shines through when she's talking about.
Lauren, enthusiastic.
Yes.
I thought she was going to cry a few times.
And knowledgeable, right? I don't know anybody else that has as much whiskey knowledge. So.
Oh my God. Ron, you are like way too observant. He goes, oh my God, who took the box? Are you effing kidding me? Is this like a highlights thing?
We said just get rid of the box.
Which
Nobody will
one is
notice. But
different?
Ron was right on top of it.
Oh,
Jennifer says,
my
"Great
gosh.
whiskey wizard, excellent, Lauren." Yes, we agree. That was great.
Yeah, everyone's
So-
saying excellent, great job.
A lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to put together, and yeah, very informative. And that was something she said back when I was visiting early in the year. She said, "Well, if you ever, I'd like to do one on Dr. Bill Lumsden at some point." And I said, "Oh, that'd be fantastic." So,
Anytime she wants to do a segment, she's more than welcome to.
oh yeah, and
She wants to do help you with the Whiskey
well,
Wizard at some point. That's
as you
fine too.
remember, Cameron and Lauren helped with
Sure.
both Halloween
Correct.
episode
Correct.
special and our holiday special, and I think I was like, well, I don't know what we could ever do to top that on Halloween, and Lauren said, well, she has more ghost stories that combine ghosts
Awesome.
and whiskey that
Awesome.
she thinks she could do another episode. So I'll talk to her about that, and we'll see if we can make that happen. So,
Awesome.
Perfect.
so yeah.
All right.
Anyway, great job. So that's good.
Ron said it's the first time he can see me. Yeah, why
Ron,
do you think
me to put the box back up?
That's why it was there.
He's
That's
doing our
right.
camera check in the beginning. Yeah, here we go.
Oh dear Lord.
Wow, I guess
well,
it is. We're
well,
kind of at the end, time-wise.
Yeah, we're gonna close out. I just wanted to thank Ron Fackaday again. Anybody that's watching the show, Ron Fackaday is the gentleman that made the Whiskey Roundtable plaque ahead, and it's about 3 friends on the back. And thanks, Roddy.
Great
We love
gift.
it when we go on location and we do one of our episodes on location. We always bring it and try to find a way to prominently display it.
Put it in. Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I want to thank you all for watching. If you're here with us live, or you're watching later on, that's what we need. So
They're telling you to turn up your mic again.
I don't know what to do. I can't turn it. What?
I'm sorry, this time it's Donnelly.
Can you
so
hear
we've
me
got
now?
3 different people saying.
I don't know.
There you go.
All right. So we want to thank you all for watching. Remember to watch it. If you don't get us live, do watch us later on.
Subscribe and hit that like
It's
button.
your views that help keep this thing going. We'll be off for the next 2 weeks, unfortunately, but we will be back on Friday the 17th. Wow, that'll just be like a few days away from the official beginning of autumn.
Right.
That's hard to believe.
Pumpkin
But, yeah.
spice bitches.
I'm looking forward to it a little bit. It's been so dang hot and humid here. And I don't like to complain when I live in Northeast Ohio about the heat, but it's been kind of a wet, hot, not a great summer.
It's
Soupy.
African hot out there.
It's soupy.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
just not comfortable. Well, anyway, time flies when you're having whiskey, right?
Amen. All right.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and all that stuff. Follow us on Facebook. Of course, the Whiskey Roundtable at gmail.com is the email address. If you want to be on the show, if you have any suggestions or criticisms, we'll be happy to take that under advisement. Okay, so we'll end it with a closing quote here.
Let's do it.
Let's hear it.
This one comes. These are the actual final words spoken by Humphrey Bogart, famous American film star. He said, "I never should have switched from Scotch to martinis."
All right. Okay, kids. We'll see you in 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
September 17th, we'll be back and rolling again.
All right. We are the Whiskey Roundtable. Big G.
Karen Helen Keller, and I want to say a shout out to our troops in Afghanistan. Be safe, guys. We love you.
Amen.
Amen.
Catch you guys
Doug
later.
Dunbar, we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
If whiskey stopped working, every bar in town would be closing their doors, shutting down. Everybody would be trapped with their thoughts, 'cause nothing numbs the pain like bourbon or scotch. Oh no, oh no, no. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped. Poor Jack D would be out of a job. Jameson and Bean would be cut off. Hank Williams songs wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, this whole damn world would be a mess. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped, oh. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably halfway out of this town, leaving Tennessee.